All those messages you kept sending out, Tom, in the years in the dugout that took forever because no one understood what you were trying to say, and therefore now you're here.
You should actually wear a watch because you turned up late for this segment.
Let's speed up the pace of play, says Josh Butler. Yes, we agree. On ESPN Cricinfo Runorder, we figure out how. It's hello to Deepdas Gupta and Tom Moody. They have no problem with the games going along. They get paid more the longer it goes. So I will ask people genuinely affected by this. How do we do that? Dustin, it's been a while since I heard you.
So, obviously you have the additional factor this time of the reviews for wides and no balls. I do think if I would say one thing that maybe there needs to be a bit more training for the umpires and the TV directors to get the reviews through faster, because that seems to be sucking a lot of time out of the game. So that's one simple solution.
Okay. Speeding up the DRS process. George.
So the first thing is, is it a problem for people who don't have to work on the game and cover it? So I was speaking to a few of my friends who are cricket nuts, and then there are some people who don't care about the games going on late, but they're often people who don't have anything to do early the next morning. They often choose not to watch the end of the game, at least amongst my friend circle. And I can imagine that is a widespread pattern of behavior. So how can we speed things up? I do think they need to implement, the umpires can be a little more proactive on the field. I don't know how rigid the timekeeping is, rigorous the timekeeping is. And then I'm not a fan of reviewing the wides and no balls. Before the tournament started, I thought that might be a good idea, but
no, you're not liking it so far. And we're recording this at a time where we're just about witnessing 10 games in the IPL. Now, late nights, it can't be good for everyone. Deep, by the time some of these games end, the sun rises in Kolkata, in your part of the world.
Yeah, maybe Guwahati even, yeah.
Oh, Guwahati, where you've been. Have you seen the sunrise towards the end of that Guwahati?
No, that was an early game actually.
Oh, on your way to the airport?
Yeah, maybe. Actually,
but as a cricketer, do you agree with George there that we need to speed this up?
100%. Obviously for reasons, you want everyone to watch it. You want the kids to watch it. The whole idea of IPL, it's more of a family thing. It's not only for the purist. And I'm going to repeat what George and Dustin said. Obviously the reviews are taking a lot longer, and I would also appreciate if the umpires don't have to go for every decision to the third umpire. There are some of these decisions like run out and stumping which are quite evident with your naked eye. So if it's evident and if the player there on the boundary line is saying, yeah, it's a 4 or I've saved it, and it's quite evident that way, just quickly get over and done with.
Okay. So the consensus of the three of you seems to be it's more on the officials here. Speed up the TV process, speed up all umpire checks, boundaries, and whatever else, and perhaps get rid of the wide reviews in the long run. Now, taking the fielder's word is easy, but we stopped doing that after Australia in 2007. Tom Moody had nothing to do with that, and it seems like most of the burden is on the officials. Nothing on the franchise. All those messages you kept sending out, Tom, in the years in the dugout that took forever because no one understood what you were trying to say, and therefore now you're here.
I thought this was a sensible conversation. I tend to agree with what's being said. I'd like to see the on-field umpires, take more control of decisions. And if they do get a decision wrong, if it's a run out, and for whatever reason they've made a poor judgment, it can be overturned by the third umpire. So flip it on its head. Instead of everything going upstairs.
Right.
Encourage on-field umpires to make the decision, and if it's a horror, it can then be intervened by the third umpire. And the same with the wides, because the wide is a subjective call. So it makes no difference taking it upstairs, but it's still a subjective view for the person that's watching it up there. I'd much rather keep it on the field of play, replay it on the big screen. If it is a review from the playing side, he can look at it, within 15 seconds on the big screen.
Sure.
I'm holding my decision. It is a wide.
Just go the VAR way, the VAR in football. It's the third umpire. While the game's on, the third umpire has a look at it and then informs the on-field referee if something's blatantly wrong or they think they.
Where did you first hear this idea? Just curious.
I think it was me here No.
Did you hear me?
Okay,
fine. Do you ever feel like some of the players moan as well that, God, this is taking so long?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because the pace of play is also part of the entertainment. You want some sort of continuity. You want the entertainment to keep moving. You don't want these stop, start. You just lose that real rhythm of the game.
Hey, can we put a clock on the field? Maybe just to
There
get the
is.
over actually through. That there's a 2-minute clock for a
Kind of like chess,
spinner.
like it gets.
Yeah. And
Yes,
maybe a
sir,
3-minute clock for a seamer. And you have to just figure it
But
out.
again, the problem is then the clock stops when you go up for the reviews, and that's what seems to be taking the most
the
amount.
clock on the umpire also then. He has to
There
make
should
that
be.
call.
I mean,
there should be a
it's-
clock everywhere.
It's a matter sometimes of just common sense. For example, there was an incident in this IPL where Riley Rousseau actually walked off because he knew he had hit a ball and there was a
He hit
review.
the glove.
But they still took around 2 minutes for the review because the TV director couldn't figure out that it had hit his pad first and then hit the bat.
I know one where there was one that went straight off the glove and he still wanted to check ultra edge, where you can see on front on spin
And
vision.
also,
it's
if
hit
the
glove
player's
straight.
walked, then he's walked. You don't need to review because he's already walked off. So the common sense decision is to just move on with the game.
Right. Okay. I just like more clocks. We also do this thing when we play that if the ball's gone for the boundary, just take another ball and start playing. So you don't have to wait for the ball to come
Yeah,
back.
you should actually wear a watch because you turned up late for this segment.
No, but ultimately, when they introduced that in-game penalty of having the extra fielder in the circle for overs beyond the cutoff, we thought that would really bring a difference to this.
But you don't think it
over
has?
here. I don't think it has because they're not implementing that.
But I feel like
as
T20
rigorously.
international cricket
Yes.
is faster.
I mean,
it's crisper. Am I wrong? Is that
Yeah.
correct?
No.
World Cup, Asia Cup, they were like.
And not just for the
really
2 timeouts. We know that international cricket doesn't have a 5-minute timeout total. Maybe just play international cricket. No IPL. No?
No, I don't think that's the answer.
No, that's not the answer. Okay. All right. We leave it there. So thank you very much, Justin, Tom, Deep, George. This has taken enough time already. Let's wrap it up.